Joseph Parker's promoter Dean Lonergan has decided to go all WWE all of a sudden. He's talking a lot of smack, but that's fine with me personally because I enjoy the WWE style antics. I'm going to quote Dean Lonergan directly here. He says, "We thank the WBO for lining up David Haye. We see that as a much easier fight than Andy Ruiz Jr. and once Joseph blasts through Haye, then Joshua will be the next cab off the rank." My understanding is Haye is the mandatory. What was voted on was that Joseph Parker and Andy Ruiz will fight for the heavyweight world title for the WBO and the winner will face David Haye. As far as we're concerned, the winner of this fight will be fighting David Haye. Andy Ruiz Jr. for Joseph Parker is a pretty tough fight, and if Joseph Parker can get through Andy Ruiz, he will blast past David Haye in 2 or 3 rounds. For that reason alone, David Haye has no chance of fighting Joseph Parker. And let me just interject there. I think he means beating Joseph Parker. But anyway, should Joseph Parker defeat Andy Ruiz, we would love that fight. So those are the words of Dean Lonergan, the promoter of New Zealand heavyweight Joseph Parker, who's about to challenge Andy Ruiz for the vacant WBO heavyweight world title. What do you think about this, people? If Joseph Parker manages to get past Ruiz and he fights Haye, how will that fight go? Is there any chance at all that what Dean Lonergan is saying has any merit? That Joseph Parker will blast through David Haye in a couple of rounds? I personally find that far-fetched, to say the least. Anything is possible in boxing, don't get it twisted. You've got a great fighter like Lennox Lewis, who was blasted out in a couple of rounds by Oliver McCall the first time around. But yet he beat much better fighters than McCall. He went the distance with much better fighters than McCall. So strange things can happen, particularly in the heavyweight division when big guys are throwing heavy leather. But in terms of probabilities, I have to say that I would imagine Joseph Parker blasting out David Haye early would be unlikely. Very unlikely. I see that fight going a lot of rounds. But maybe you disagree. Maybe you think that David Haye right now is not as good as we think he is because he's been fighting opposition that is so poor. Maybe his reflexes have slowed down a lot, particularly his defensive reflexes, but we haven't really seen that because of the fact that he's been fighting such weak opposition. Maybe against a young, fast, fresh, hungry fighter like a Joseph Parker who's been very active and fighting at a higher level than David Haye's been fighting at recently, maybe he'll be able to expose certain things in David Haye, like perhaps diminished reflexes at the age of 36. And remember, David Haye has a style that is heavily reliant on reflexes. And as I've mentioned in one of my previous videos that I've uploaded in the past few hours, the margin of error at the high levels in boxing is very small. A split-second slowdown in reflexes can make the difference between evading a punch and getting caught by a punch. It really is that finite. So let me know what you think about this, people. Is Dean Lonergan just talking smack for the sake of talking smack to help to boost ticket sales for Parker Ruiz? Or does he actually believe this? Let me know what you think in the comment section. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.